evening. We'll see all 20 Premier League teams tonight, and we're delighted that you'll continue to see them here on Match of the Day until 2022. One big deal completed, but it's also transfer deadline day, and we'll keep you in touch with today's major signings. Ian Wright and Danny Murphy would have been worth £1 or £2 if they were playing today. There were 7 games this evening and 3 last night. We begin at Wembley with Tottenham against Manchester United. Indeed, Tottenham have won 3 successive home league games against Manchester United for the first time since 1966. Could be an omen. Who knows? And they were helped by, I mean, they just talked about, possibly the quickest goal in Premier League history, but not quite.
Not quite. I think it was 0.5 of a second, 5.2. 0.5.
We've got proof.
It was like Mourinho said there that his team was shell-shocked and they, you know, I mean, I know Ledley King scored this one, but it's really close. But it's poor from Man United. Lose that header, really sloppy there, and then he bang. I think we see him just beaten. But yeah, they did start very slow, but Tottenham took full advantage of the fact that they were on their heels a bit, but they created chances, Man United.
Yeah, they didn't, certainly in the first half. Excellent performance from Spurs, and they seem to have the edge tactically.
They did indeed. I mean, there was a lot of attacking players out there, but from United's point of view, in central midfield areas, that they were defensively all over the place, and Tottenham's cleverness with Son, Dele Alli getting in those pockets caused United problems, and it was because of Pogba's ill-discipline, really. I think he was told to play alongside Matic here, too far ahead of him. Classic Spurs coming in off those wide areas to get in the pockets. And Pogba, for me, he was one of the best attacking midfielders in the world, but defensively, he's reactive rather than proactive. And here you see Smalling ends up in central midfield, getting dragged out. Jones kept getting dragged out because of Pogba vacating that space next to Matic, and it just caused United all sorts of problems. I mean, look, Pogba wasn't the only one who wasn't at it, by the way. You know, the 2 centre-halves struggled tonight, the full-backs weren't great. But look at the gaps. I mean, it's so easy to play against. And Matic, to be fair to him, who's not the quickest player in the world, he's great at holding midfielder, but you can't do it on your own.
Penalty,
that is a penalty, yeah. And time again, we see, look, he's too far ahead of him. And a good players spot space and they just play around you. I mean, it was second half was even more evident. But when you've got good footballers, you've got to block the pockets and you've got to help your back 4 out. Look, Jones is coming into midfield there because, again, Pogba was too far ahead of Matic. I don't know why Matic isn't speaking to him saying, "Oi, I need you. You're making me look silly." Look, this one, Matic is all on his own. It doesn't actually fall down into the central midfield areas, and Kane should have done better. But it was too easy, and tactically the game was won in the middle of the pitch. I mean, Dembele was fantastic. He dominated Pogba. But you can't just let players running 30, 40 yards of space with no one confronting him. Look, 50-50s. Pogba's been great for United, and I prefer him in a more attacking role. In terms of defensive discipline, it's not really in his nature. It was too easy for the likes of someone Dembele's ability just to play around him and dominate him. And Mourinho and Pogba had strong words during the game when he dragged him. I think that's the first time he subbed him, I think.
Certainly probably in the league, I would imagine.
Subbed him for the wrong reason. Yeah,
Tottenham have signed Lucas Moura, 25 million from PSG. Speedy beats players, good signing.
Yeah, very good signing. Neymar's absolutely seething, apparently. He didn't want him to leave. Yeah. So that's the quality that he's got. So I think it's a good addition for Spurs. Very good.
Good value for money.
Absolutely.
OK. Chelsea head coach Antonio Conte had described the January transfer window as annoying, but he received better news ahead of tonight's match with Bournemouth. At Stamford Bridge was Mark Scott. Well, a stunning result and performance, you have to say, from Bournemouth. Whatever you want to say about Chelsea, but Bournemouth were terrific.
They were terrific, and I was talking about it. Danny was mentioning to me about the 3 at the back. Since they've gone with the 3 at the back, they've got this natural width with the 4, through the with the 2 that go outside on the midfield that give them the width, and then you've got Stanislas and Ibe getting closer to Callum Wilson. And to be honest, I know that Chelsea dominated possession, but these 3, they were so close, they gave them so much problems, and they were so efficient with the ball, playing it in nice little intricate passes. This was so unlucky because he's just got to lay that into Callum Wilson and they're in. That is how they opened them up. Yep. And they were very patient. Like I say, they was very, very good at the back, the blocks and that. But again, great run from Callum Wilson, opens it up for him, and Jordan Ibe has a really good shot there. And this is the goal. Bakayoko gets eased off of it and then into Jordan Ibe, and he's got that. Jordan Ibe's got that. We're starting to see
he's been
that
better the last few weeks.
We're starting to see that capability, what he's got. What we thought he was going to show at Liverpool, but now it seems to be happening again. You see how close they are. Callum Wilson and Stanislas there, and now they're in. And they use it very well, very efficiently. KO gets dragged in, and he finishes it really well. But like I say, Bournemouth were they were really, really impressive today. And I know that Chelsea, we could say what we want about Chelsea, but they got ripped to shreds by them lot today. Much better team.
OK, well, there's been a transfer triangle in many ways on deadline day. Giroud has gone to Chelsea. Batshuayi's left Chelsea to go to Dortmund. Aubameyang has left Dortmund to go to Arsenal. So who wins?
Well,
we agree, don't we?
Yeah, I think Giroud, in respect of...
Value for money, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, I think value for money and the fact that he's somebody that we know scores in this league.
Yeah.
And the plan B for Chelsea, I think, will work with him coming in it, because I think they needed a focal point today, Chelsea.
Well, also Morata's injury problems. Never mind Plan B. It could be Plan A, and he can play in the Champions League. As far as
Aubameyang, though, he's a proper goal scorer.
Yeah, but then do you play him up top with Lacazette? Does Lacazette go on the bench? And let's be honest. Look, I've said this before, and Arsenal could buy Ronaldo. They can't defend. They don't get coached tactically, so it doesn't matter who they play up front. It really doesn't. They just can't win enough games on there. They can't stop conceding goals.
OK. Well, the leaders, Manchester City, continued their challenge for 4 trophies with a home game against West Brom. The visitors travelled with new loan signing Daniel Sturridge in their squad. At the Etihad Stadium, Simon Brotherton. Well, it is what it is. Let's have a look at it. What did you make of it, Danny? Is it a bad one?
It is a bad one.
Could have been really bad, that.
I think he's lucky to get away with it. It's a red card, really. It's too high, it's dangerous. And after the weekend as well, Pep's annoyed, isn't he, and frustrated because he didn't know at this point whether he was going to lose him. Hopefully Diaz is all right, but he's already lost Sane, who's been inspirational for them.
That was a bad one, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah, at least he was
having
calm.
A word with the fourth official, like he said there. I suppose it's only fair at this point, perhaps, to point out the David Silva challenge, which, ironically, he got himself injured with. What do you think this was? Nothing like as bad as that one.
It's not quite as bad, but it's still a naughty one, and I've seen red cards given for that.
Would you say naughty, Dan, or missed time? Look,
it's a bit, it's not as bad as the other. Let's be honest, but more importantly, he's hurt himself, and he's now out as well. And it doesn't look like a one-game one. That looks like a couple of weeks. So you've got Sane and Silva starting to lose some of the better players. It's going to be a tough few weeks for City.
Yeah, they seem to be struggling.
No, you know what I mean.
I know exactly.
They're the first choice players,
but they've spent £57 million on another defender. Laporta's come in. It wasn't exactly a challenge defensively, but boy, he looks like he can play.
Very competent player,
well, anyone who's watched him
really,
the last
really
few
good.
years would know.
Yeah, predominantly left-footed, looks really comfortable on the ball. You can see he sprays a lovely ball across here. Brilliant play. And this one, it's an awkward one. It's well taken there, just calmly just pops it into the midfield with the right foot. And then here, I think that was a foul, but they didn't get it. But his reactions here are really good. He's watching, he's just nodded it down to Gundogan.
Big lad, isn't he?
Yeah, and he was really just composed and calm.
He is.
Very,
I've
very
seen
good.
a lot of him. He really is a good player.
Shame they didn't get Mahrez, really.
Yeah.
Come to that in just a second. I want to talk about Sterling.
Yes.
Lovely. I mean, he was influential in the game. He missed a good chance, but there was a lovely bit of management from Pep Guardiola.
You've got to watch Pep Guardiola because he's thinking, OK, he does everything right, and you think, just curl it in, he misses. But then you watch Pep. I just love watching him. Look at him. Watch him. He's calling him over now. Watch him rub his head. Watch. And he's always saying, I love you. That was a great effort. Give me a kiss. Go on. Now go and play football. Go.
Yeah, go on back. You're doing all right, son.
It just makes me smile.
Like you and Bruce Wright.
That's what. Yeah.
There was a late bid, possibly because of the Sane injury, for Riyad Mahrez from Leicester. The bids weren't high enough. Leicester didn't agree with it. In the end, it fell through. What did you...
They've got every right to keep him and ask for more money because he's a super footballer, but he would have made City better and stronger because he's...
Do you think he'd have been a regular at City?
I think with the injuries he got, he'd have gone straight in.
Yeah.
He's going to go in the summer, isn't he? I'm afraid for Leicester supporters. He's outgrown Leicester. He's too good for Leicester.
You've said that before. Irritating me there. After all
I mean it. It's a genuine opinion.
I know you mean it. That's
what Champions League player, right? And he backed me up.
I'd have loved to have seen him go somewhere like City.
You mean the champions of just a couple of years ago? But it's all right.
Yeah.
After all that speculation about Mahrez, Leicester were away at Everton on the pitch. Everton have managed just 4 shots on target in 3 league matches this year. Leicester, meanwhile, were yet to concede a league goal in 2018. Yeah, we'll come to Arsenal in a second, but Swansea's league form, as you can see there, 10 points in 5 games under Carvajal. Had lots of points and some great analogies to boot at times.
Yeah, he's done really, really well. He's actually, a lot of clubs he's been at, he's always created an immediate effect. And I think players like Mawson, Klukas, Ayew, full of confidence. Yeah. Klukas especially, who played well. I think the energy, the hunger, the discipline in terms of tactical, not being dragged all over the place, has been terrific from all of them. Deserve great credit. But as the man I heard him speaking today after the result, and he was saying that they've still got a mountain to climb.
Oh, yeah, they've got a long way to go. I mean, it's very tight at the bottom of the table. We know that, that's for sure. In many ways, a comedy of errors at times for Arsenal, Ian. Yeah,
and you're listening to Arsene Wenger's interview there, you could literally take that out and put it in the last couple of years. You look at Ozil here, you know, he loses the ball here, but you've got to look at Granit Xhaka here. You know, you see Klukas. You know, that's just wrong.
Basic.
That's just basic. Monreal, he's got to get on this ball, turn, play it into Xhaka and get going. You know, he's let it run out of play, but this throw here towards your goal, Dan, like he has. Of course, Petr Cech. It's a poor clearance. He's got to clear this with his right foot. Just kick it back where it's come from. Swiped across it. Like you said, you can't concede goals. Like again here, you know the ball's there. You know what? Just kick it out. But he's doing a kung fu kick. What's he doing?
Shambolic at times.
Absolutely. And then from here, Ayew, who has been playing well, his confidence is high, and you know what I mean. He plays it in and he scored. The thing with it is that Swansea, who are in and around they were in the bottom three. You know, you've got Arsenal play. You know that they're going to come at you, Arsenal. They've got to start with a lot more intensity than they did.
And a good signing, Andre Ayew, 18 million to join his brother.
Yeah, 2 Ayews.
Yeah, more goals.
OK, let's, and then, let's talk about Aubameyang and Ozil. Is Wenger the right man, do you think, to look after them?
You know, when you look at the inconsistency of the performances, you see how the guys can play when they want to, like we saw with Chelsea. And we've seen in certain games against Man United, and that, they raise their game, and then they don't. They seem to be they're not responding to this manager at the moment. They don't seem to be responding
that sounds, I mean, I know you've been loyal to him for a long time.
I have been
sounds
very
like
loyal
you've
to him.
kind of given up.
Well, to be honest, you know, I know that Arsene Wenger will probably be there for the 2 years, and you know that there's stuff going on in the background with Mislintat and Sanalai and Gazidis, and you know that there's a log ahead.
Do you think perhaps at the moment Arsene Wenger hasn't quite got the control that he's had previously?
He definitely hasn't. He definitely hasn't, and I think that's what's going on at the moment. And there's so much going on there. I'd like to see Kroenke come over and actually get the people to get together and start to work together for the club, because there's a lot going on upstairs.
Is it getting to the point where the fans are going to vote with their feet, though? Because
I don't think they will.
Chat about we want this and we want.
I don't think the fans will vote with their feet like that, because they're too loyal, the Arsenal fans. They've put up with so much up to this point. What is the point of them now voting with their feet? They've put up with so much.
Yeah. OK.
It's only a question.
Fair enough.
Well,
we'll see what happens. Well, the transfer window shut at 11 p.m. Not long ago. Ian Dennis is in the BBC Sports Centre, and Ian, plenty of deals have been done, despite the fact that matches have been played tonight.
And Gary, since that deadline closed about 45 minutes ago, providing that the two active clubs provide the necessary paperwork and the deal sheet, it actually buys them a further 2 hours, so you still might see a drip effect with further deals to be announced. And in fact, since the deadline closed, we've had 4 of those, including 2 at Newcastle. Martin Dubravka, Slovakian international goalkeeper, who's come in on loan from Sparta Prague, but crucially they've also bolstered their strike force with Islam Slimani coming on loan from Leicester City. West Ham United have just announced that Jordan Hugill has signed from Preston North End, so that was a big deal for them. £9 million, roughly, for the 25-year-old striker. And Andy King has left Leicester City to go to Swansea City. We're still awaiting one more maybe to go through, and that's Alexander Sorloth, who's a Norwegian international striker that Crystal Palace are trying to sign from Midtjylland. Away from the other big deals, Swansea City have re-signed Andre Ayew. He's reunited with his brother Jordan and rejoins the club he left in 2016 for £20 million. It's a 3.5-year deal. £18 million is the fee, rising to £20 million with add-ons. And Stoke City were granted a work permit, and they have signed the midfielder Badou Ndiaye from Galatasaray for £16 million, and that's a 4.5-year deal for the Senegalese international.
OK, and thanks very much. That brings us right up to date. It's a busy night, and we have 5 matches still to come.